Amelia King, a 51-year-old mother and grandmother, was shot and killed in her home by her boyfriend on September 21st, 2004. Vicky Godinez, a 45-year-old mother, was stabbed and killed by her boyfriend on November 10th, 2004. Suzanne Timoney, a 45-year-old mother of three, was murdered by her ex-boyfriend on November 28th, 2004. Zhao Han, a 34-year-old woman, was stabbed and killed by her estranged husband on February 15, 2005. Marcelina Gonzalez, a 31-year-old mother, was murdered by her boyfriend on September 9, 2005. Petra Mohammed, a 34-year-old mother, went missing in the midst of divorce and custody proceedings in January 2006. She is still missing and presumed dead. Griselda Espinal, a 38-year-old mother, was stabbed and shot to death by her husband on August 11, 2006. Elena Heiberger, a 32-year-old mother of four, had been preparing to leave her husband when he shot and killed her on December 5, 2006. Ferminia Nunez, a 36-year-old mother of four, was murdered by a man hired by her ex-boyfriend on December 30th, 2006. Deborah Nieves, a 37-year-old mother of four, was shot and killed by her husband on November 12th, 2007. Moises Molina, a 36-year-old father, was murdered on July 28, 2008 by his sister's ex-boyfriend. Gloria Molina Rivera, a 47-year-old mother of two, was stabbed to death by her ex-boyfriend on August 21, 2008. Catherine Novak, a 41-year-old mother of two, was murdered by her estranged husband on December 13, 2008. Anna Tift, a 23-year-old daughter and sister, was murdered in the process of breaking up with her boyfriend on June 20, 2009. Florence Benson, a 75-year-old mother of five and grandmother to nine, was shot and murdered by her husband on September 13, 2009 in Newburgh. Lula Mae Stewart Wygant, a 45-year-old mother, daughter, and sister, was murdered on November 9, 2009. Hiria Kochtari, a 51-year-old mother of four, was shot and murdered by her husband on March 20, 2010. Rami Jasildo, a 22-year-old woman, was shot and killed by her boyfriend on April 23, 2011. Elizabeth Mucci, a 31-year-old daughter and sister, was murdered by her ex-boyfriend on April 26, 2011. Kathleen Connolly, a 27-year-old mother, daughter, and sister, was murdered by her ex-boyfriend on August 3, 2011. Alexis Harris, a 20-year-old daughter and friend, was beaten to death by her boyfriend on July 21, 2012. Sandra Oliva, a 54-year-old mother, was shot and murdered by her husband on December 14, 2012. Tyrochelle Houghton, a 35-year-old mother of four, was stabbed and killed by her ex-boyfriend on January 15, 2013. Sabine Eichart, a 44-year-old mother of four, was killed by her estranged husband on April 26, 2013. Ada Lara, a 32-year-old mother of two, was shot and killed by her husband on November 20, 2013. Deanne Invibo Leroy, a 46-year-old woman, was shot and killed by her husband on February 24, 2014. Junko Salters, a 62-year-old woman, was stabbed and killed by her husband on June 20, 2014. Marie Giannoni, a 55-year-old woman, was shot and killed by her ex-boyfriend on November 22nd, 2015. Ramona Gonzalez, a 33-year-old mother of 4, was murdered by her husband on February 4th, 2016. Tanya Smith, a 47-year-old mother, daughter, and sister, was murdered on October 15th, 2017. Stephanie Vanzetta, a 41-year-old mother of 3, was murdered by her estranged husband on October 26, 2018. Jasmine Emmanuel, a 52-year-old mother, was murdered by her husband on January 6, 2019. Amanda Pomilo, a 45-year-old daughter and sister, was murdered by her husband on January 16, 2019. Deborah Waldinger, a 32-year-old daughter, was beaten to death by her boyfriend on October 7, 2019. Jessica Lopez, a 36-year-old daughter and sister, was murdered on November 3, 2019. Helen Dutcher, a 74-year-old woman, was shot and killed by her partner on September 16, 2020.
Good evening. Sadly, within the last 24 hours, we learned that another woman in Sullivan County was murdered by her partner. We'll keep her and her family in our thoughts as we move forward this evening.
Good evening and welcome to our first ever virtual unGala. I'm Kellyanne.
I'm Sarita.
And we're your hosts for the evening. It's been a long year. It's hard to imagine what we've endured with COVID. So many of us in our communities have taken an emotional and physical toll. More importantly, the impact on domestic violence victims has been what's like a double pandemic. The impact with domestic violence victims on the isolation, financial abuse, and health have been exacerbated. Additional ways for abusive partners to control and leverage their victims. Not even a global pandemic has slowed abusers from using tactics to control their victims. Quite the opposite, the numbers have increased. As of November 28th, Fearless has answered 8,209 hotline calls. And between July and September, 41% increase over last year. The increase in demand for shelter, basic needs, and legal support and emotional support is some of why we're here to talk to you this evening. Not only to share about the wonderful and amazing work being done at Fearless, but also to talk about the impact even during the pandemic. Most importantly, it's a fundraiser. It looks a little bit different this year. We're not at the Gala or Anthony's Pier 9. We're, for most of you, in your living rooms, or maybe you're at work, but you're joining us in a very different way. So we thought we'd talk a little bit about what the night's going to look like. Want to tell them a little bit about fundraising?
So we are very excited to try a new means here, hoping that you will join us in contributing this evening. There's been a significant gap for us because our fundraisers for the year have been impacted. We haven't been able to come together, haven't been able to have them. We'd like to go over with you how you can pledge this evening. So to pledge, you will take out your cell phones and send a text message to 970-840-9000. Within the message, you will enter the word HOPE, a space, the amount you'd like to pledge, a space, and then your name. If you'd like to remain anonymous, simply leave your name blank. Again, you'll send a text message to 970-840-9000. Enter the word HOPE, a space, the amount you'd like to pledge, a space, and your name.
We can take a breath. If you can't tell, we're a little nervous. We've been practicing our TV personalities for quite some time now. You want to talk a little bit about what we're going to see tonight?
Absolutely. So we are very excited to start off our night together, highlighting some of our amazing staff, our programs and services. Part of our work requires that we raise awareness not only about what victimization and abuse may look like for those who are experiencing it, but also about the availability of resources and how to access them. This is not an easy task, recognizing that covering 2 counties, which span over 1,000, almost 2,000 square miles, this is not an easy thing to accomplish. Some of you may remember that last year we embarked on a strategic repositioning for our organization, even exploring a name change. Part of that was wanting for us to help raise awareness within the community about all of the resources that are available beyond shelter, beyond focusing on the need for individuals who are experiencing victimization and abuse to leave. We know that that isn't often a safe option for individuals, and want to make sure that the comprehensive services we offer through our non-residential programs are very clear and evident, both in our name change and also how we talk about our work within the agency. So to support that, we're going to turn it over to Vivian, who's going to tell us a little bit about our non-residential advocacy services.
Victims and survivors can connect to our hotline, our web chat, or come into one of our offices. You will be greeted by an advocate who is going to be compassionate, who will listen, support, and guide you. We hear you, we believe you, and we're here for you.
At the Family Justice Center, we have advocates available to support anyone impacted by interpersonal violence, human trafficking, sexual violence, and other types of crimes. This includes not only survivors themselves, but also family members, friends, and community members who want to explore the best ways to help. Whether individuals call the hotline or come in person to the Family Justice Center, they are greeted by a trained advocate who will immediately assess for their physical, emotional, and financial safety. The advocate's assessment serves to connect each person with the supports that they may need to navigate their safety or support someone they love. This is often a complicated and overwhelming process, and our goal is to create a welcoming and safe environment from which each person can carefully explore the options they may not have known could be available. We work to maintain a pantry to support immediate and emergency needs for our clients. Through generous donations and community support, we can provide food, toiletries, clothing, and even some housewares. The ability to provide emergency assistance in these instances and maintain each person's dignity, it's so very important to us. All survivors served through the hotline and at the FJC are entitled to confidentiality and privacy. Our hotline operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In addition to the telephone hotline, we can also be reached through our website, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. It all starts with a phone call, one chat session, or a knock on the door. We're here for you.
The Therapeutic Counseling Program provides specifically focused trauma-informed therapy with the goal of supporting survivors in healing through trauma related to domestic and dating violence, trafficking and sexual violence, and other crime victimization. Because everyone deserves a life free from abuse and the trauma it can cause, we offer this service completely free of charge. While our therapeutic counseling program began with one therapist in 2014, we now have a team of 5 full-time licensed therapists to support both adults and children impacted by abuse and violence. Last year, we added a specially trained child therapist to our team who works with children as young as 5 and their non-abusive parents to support an early opportunity for healing and restorative healthy relationships. Our sessions with children are individually designed based on age and developmental factors and utilize both classic therapy techniques, as well as creative arts therapy practices. We look forward to the opportunity to evolve both programmatically and clinically to meet the needs of survivors. We strive to support all people in living safely from abuse and are here ready to help whenever it's safe to reach out.
Fearless provides comprehensive advocacy services within Sullivan County, operating from the Sullivan County Government Center located at 100 North Street in Monticello. Advocates assist survivors in navigating various systems, including family court, and are available to meet survivors' various needs via in-person support and our 24-hour hotline. To further assist survivors in navigating various court systems, Fearless partners directly with Legal Services of the Hudson Valley, offering the opportunity for legal consultation and representation which is cognizant and mindful of the complicated and intersecting dynamics of abuse and exploitation and the particular barriers faced by survivors in accessing safety and support. Through this partnership, survivors are supported within both Orange and Sullivan counties regarding various matters such as orders of protection, child custody and support, divorce, housing, and immigration matters.
What I want you to know is that you're not alone and that you don't have to do this alone. The reality is that family court and court in general doesn't necessarily look like it looks like on TV, and it can be intimidating and scary, and it can take a long time. Court advocates are here to help you through the entire process, from figuring out what court petitions you need to file, to actually going to court with you, and then to figure out what it even means to have the orders that the judge has given you. As a court advocate, my role is to educate you on what your options are. I'm not here to tell you what to do or how to do things, but I'm here to let you know what all of your options are so that you can make the best decision for what your next steps are going to be. The COVID pandemic hasn't stopped survivors' needs, so our role as court advocates is to stay in communication with the court to figure out what we need to do to make sure that survivors can access the court during these times. Even during the COVID pandemic, we're able to be on family court appearances virtually with you. And even after family court is finished, we're here to support you in figuring out what your next steps are and help you figure out what safety looks like for you. Family court can be difficult to navigate, especially when English isn't your first language. Regardless of the language you speak or your legal status, advocates are here to support you. I want you to know that you're not alone and you don't have to do this alone. No eres sola y no tienes que hacer eso sola. Family court is just one piece of rebuilding your life for yourself and for your children after you've gotten out of an abusive relationship, and also while that abusive relationship probably is still continuing if you have children together. Abuse doesn't end because family court has ordered for it to end. And so our role as advocates are to be here to support you in figuring out what your next steps are going to be.
Thank you, Lisa Marie. And if you're just joining us, you are at our first virtual unGala. It's 2020. And I'm Kellyanne.
I'm Sarita.
And we're still your hosts this evening. Just again, wanted to tell everybody this is a fundraiser. And as you can see right next to us is the Fundometer. And again, if you'd like to contribute and make a pledge this evening, please text 970-840-9000 and text HOPE space the amount space and your name. And again, you can remain anonymous if you'd like. I'd also like to just say thank you to our sponsors this evening, our partner sponsors, Avon, Origin Rockland Utilities, and Professional Computer Associates, as well as our friend sponsors, ADP and M&T Bank. Now, besides doing some fundraising and looking at some of our wonderful programs and amazing staff, we're also here to celebrate some extraordinary honorees. Want to get us started?
Absolutely. So the first award for this evening is our Family Justice Center Award. This award is typically given to individuals who successfully work with and within systems advocating for and helping victims and survivors. This year's Family Justice Center Award honoree is Debbie O'Malley, the RIDES program manager at Garnet Health Medical Center, Catskills. Choosing Debbie was definitely an easy choice this year. as Debbie's dedication to supporting victims and survivors has been evident to us here at Fearless since the day we officially stepped foot in Sullivan County back in 2017. As part of a small yet mighty team, Debbie has championed survivors, rallied community support, and ensured that victims of sexual violence in Sullivan County have advocacy and support every step of the way. Since day one, Debbie has been a partner in recognizing the intersections of our work with survivors of domestic violence and sexual violence. She has been a consistent referral source, a reliable collaborative partner, and has supported bringing fearless advocates and educators to every table that she's a part of in Sullivan County. Please join us in congratulating our 2020 Family Justice Center Award honoree, Debbie O'Malley.
Thank you, Kellyanne, Sarita, and the Fearless community for this recognition. This opportunity led me to reflecting on my days advocating with and for people, families, children in Sullivan County over the last 40 years. I started my work in Sullivan County at Sullivan ARC as intake coordinator and later as personnel director. Then after a short stint at the public library, developed a family support program advocating for children and their families with serious emotional challenges with the county and then later on Sullivan County BOCES. I secured my master's in school counseling and mental health counseling, and upon graduation started as a RISE volunteer and within the same month as a RISE counselor. The last 10 years at RISE have been fulfilling, offering me opportunities to meet, work with, advocate, and accompany people who have experienced sexual violence. Though each person's path is different, often working at RISE lets me support survivors as they move from isolation and self-blame toward feeling validated, more safe, and empowered. Advocacy at RISE has ranged from individual advocacy to system advocacy via networking, cross-training, regular communication with providers, legal services, schools, agencies, funders, rape crisis centers like Orange County Rape Crisis, DV programs, supporters, and within the hospital. Efforts towards securing emotionally safe space at Garnet Health Medical Center, Catskill, brought RISE to a space that better meets the needs of survivors and now offers additional support and services as we share space with Fearless. One of my most rewarding accomplishments was to support more comprehensive services at the hospital emergency department by bringing SANE sexual assault nurse examiner training to Sullivan County. I facilitated a relationship with IAFN and offered adolescent adult SANE training to medical staff interested. 10 RNs enrolled in the 40-plus hour SANE training and 3-day live clinical practicum on-site with IAFN-approved educators. This created more awareness about specialized care for survivors, and I'm very thankful for the SANE nurses and the emergency staff. My work with survivors is both intimate and confidential. The Fearless Gala is a critical community event creating a time for public education by stimulating conversation and awareness about incidents of sexual and domestic violence and the effects. While I appreciate being recognized for this award, it is important to highlight the strength and courage of each person who found their way to RISE. Let's consider the person calling the hotline number, disclosing to a stranger, meeting an advocate, facing an emergency department nurse, police, or family, and others who haven't disclosed and continue to try to navigate home life, school, or work while searching for safety. I want to encourage people who hear this and other talks tonight to talk about rape, sexual abuse, and talk about trauma-informed care and what it might look like where you live, at your school, agency, work, or community. By fostering an environment where we listen, believe without judgment, people may be able to feel safe enough. I am thankful to the people I work with, Damaris Cardinal, crisis counselor advocate who works at RISE and is a strong advocate offering counseling and all RISE services in both English and Spanish, and the RISE volunteer client advocates, Helen Rados, Terry DePaulo, Neil Tevlowitz, Art Kalbjornsen, and Susan Lang. Thankful to Jonathan Schiller and Suzanne Lang, and especially thankful tonight to Fearless for offering me this opportunity and this recognition.
Thank you, Debbie, for all that you do. It truly is an honor to work with you and be able to recognize you tonight. Let's take a look at how our Fundometer is doing.
This is so exciting. Hi, Steve. Thank you very much. I see you, Lisa. Oh, it's so nice to see, of course, Ann Harris, up and coming.
Susan Laspina, my mom. Hi, Mom.
The founding agency, Lisa Daly, saying hello to you, sending our love to you. And of course, our board of directors, thank you for all the love and support.
Lisa Bacher, Mackenzie's mom too. Thank you. I'm going to recognize all the moms tonight. You all
Thank
are
goodness
great.
for our moms.
We wouldn't be here without you.
So just as equally important as our direct services is our education and prevention. We could not be able to do what we do without an education and prevention team, because ultimately, while we're addressing the needs of victims currently in their crisis, if we don't address long-term planning around prevention and education, we never really truly will work towards the goal of eradicating domestic and sexual violence. We're very proud of our education and prevention program, and we're going to turn it over to Zoe to check it out.
Hi, my name is Zoe Mayhem. My gender pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm the Education Program Manager here at Fearless Hudson Valley. Our Fearless Education team goes all across Orange and Sullivan counties to provide educational and interactive workshops on gender-based violence and violence prevention. We know that 1 in 3 teens will experience physical, verbal, or emotional abuse from a dating partner. Our job is to talk to youth and adults about healthy relationships and intimate partner violence, to educate them on the signs of a healthy relationship or an abusive relationship, why abuse happens, and how to help somebody if they're experiencing intimate partner violence. When we go into a classroom, our main goal is educating and raising awareness, but what we're really doing is starting a conversation with the youth. We never expect that a youth is going to leave one of our workshops and be an expert in intimate partner violence. But if they've learned something and if they continue the conversation after we leave, then that's a win for us. Our goal is to create a world free from violence and oppression, and we know that this can't happen without our education and prevention team. Our workshops are always free. We know that this information is absolutely vital to our mission of ending violence and oppression in all its forms, and so we want it to be accessible to anyone.
Hi everyone, my name is Alina. My pronouns are she, her, and hers.
And I'm Renee. My pronouns are also she, her, and hers. As youth educators, we're invited into youth spaces, including elementary, middle, and high schools, to facilitate violence prevention education trainings. Some of our most sought-after trainings include teen dating violence, healthy relationships, digital safety, and consent.
Due to COVID-19, we've had to change our in-person programs to online. That includes live Zoom sessions or pre-recorded sessions that could be sent straight to teachers.
Hello, my name is Andrea Escoto, and my gender pronouns are she, her, and hers.
My name is Neffy, and my gender pronouns are she, her, and hers. As community educators, we are responsible for the education and resources of the residents of Orange and Sullivan counties. We do this work through various settings such as halfway houses, transitional housing, adult daycares, community centers, as well as community-based events throughout both counties.
We also do this through various programs and workshops from VB 101 to Intent versus Impact, challenging an oppressive culture in our community.
The education department has been working on so many fun new things, one of them being our creative showcase competition. Anyone in Orange and Sullivan counties from 6th to 12th grade can participate.
The submissions that can be submitted are visual, digital, and performance art. These submissions can be submitted as early as today, but the deadline for any submission is Friday, January 29th at 5 p.m.
This will be held virtually on Facebook Live, so join us on February 6th, and more information is to come.
For more information, be sure to contact Education Manager Zoe Mahan.
Our team has been working incredibly hard to transition into this virtual world we all find ourselves in, and we've come up with some new and exciting ways to stay a part of the conversation. One of these is our new Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram series called Ship or Snip, where we come together to talk about relationships that are depicted in popular TV shows or movies, and ask ourselves, are we really seeing healthy or unhealthy behaviors play out? Once a month, we put out an episode where educators talk about a relationship in popular shows or movies and discuss if they're modeling healthy or unhealthy behaviors. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram to watch all of our episodes.
To learn more Fearless events, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Great. I was like, I feel like I had to do jazz hands. I tell you, we have the most incredible education team. And so we're going to hopefully make them proud right now. So again, if you would like to make a pledge, please text 970-840-9000. Hope, space, the amount, and your name. You can also remain anonymous. It's good to see you. Oh, look at this. Hi, Steve. Oh, the O'Days. We're sending our love to the O'Days. Thank you very much. Want to talk a little bit about our education and prevention?
So speaking of community education and outreach, our next Honorees connection to Fearless started with us visiting their corporate headquarters, meeting with their employees to share some information about our agency and work. The Mildred Good Neighbor Award, Good Neighbor Award, is typically given to small yet mighty community groups who combine their collective efforts to champion support for our agency and ultimately survivors. This year's Mildred Warren Good Neighbor Award honorees are the Avon Women Empowered Stand for Her team. From our very first connection, their team quickly took a possibility and turned it into many realities 1,000,000 times over, and they've never forgotten about Fearless and survivors. Multiple times a year, they reliably reach out and connect to ask us what's needed, how they can help. The first year, an idea about how food items to support our pantry turned into a creative arts project, a little bit of competitive, friendly competition, so to speak. They used canned goods that ultimately would be donated to support our pantry and the Family Justice Center. While supporting our pantry, back to school drive, and holiday project, the Avon Women Empowered Stand for Her team is always there. We could not do this work alone. It truly takes a village, and we appreciate Robin and her team for all of their support every step of the way. Congratulations to our 2020 Mildred Warren Good Neighbor Award honorees, Avon Women Empowered Stand for Her team.
Hi, I'm Sandy Russo.
I'm Robin Slotnick.
And I'm Amy Pagliaro, and we're from the Avon Women Empowered Stand for Her team.
Hi, everyone. My name is Robin Slotnick, and I am the Stand for Her team leader within Avon, located at the Global R&D Innovation Center in Suffern, New York. I'm thrilled to accept the Mildred Warren Good Neighbor Award on behalf of Avon and the team, known as Avon Women Empowered. What a great honor to receive, especially in these unbelievable times. Let me tell you a little bit about Avon, the team, and our relationship with Fearless Hudson Valley. One of Avon's original guiding principles from its founder, David H. McConnell, is to contribute to the well-being of society. This is felt throughout all aspects of our business today, as Avon takes extreme pride on delivering its current mission to become the best beauty company for the world. And these are not just words. Whether through the Global Avon Foundation or our local team, we are driven to contribute to support our two main organizational focal points: support of victims and survivors of domestic violence and breast cancer awareness. Avon has been supporting women for 130 years, donating over $80 million to domestic violence globally just since 2004, and our support is needed now more than ever. Avon realizes that any type of funding and donations can help make a valuable difference to the lives of at-risk women and children across the globe who urgently need protection from domestic abuse. And assistance starts at the local level. A lot of the local efforts begin as grassroots grassroots initiatives that continue to flourish over the years, which is exactly how the Avon relationship with Fearless Hudson Valley has grown. Avon's relationship with Fearless Hudson Valley started a number of years ago when one of our very own colleagues was a victim of domestic violence and had the bravery to reach out to Safe Homes of Orange County for their services. After coming out the other side, this person brought the Safe Homes organization to the attention of the Avon Foundation, which was able to provide a grant to Safe Homes and establish Safe Homes as a continued partner and recipient, and yes, neighbor to Avon. Now let me introduce you to Sandy, a very important member of our All Stand For Her team.
Over the years, Avon's fundraising activities in support of Safe Homes, Fearless Hudson Valley, has been led by the AW team known as Stand For Her. We actually have 4 different pillars within the AW organization, which began in 2013. STEM, engagement, career development, and Stand For Her. But it is the Stand For Her AW team that has led the charge to be the best neighbor we can be to Fearless Hudson Valley. For multiple years, Avon has participated in the back-to-school supply drives and the Thanksgiving food drives. And back in 2017, Avon decided to up the ante and host a construction event whereby multiple teams within Avon competed to build sculptures out of canned foods. We had our iconic lipstick couch, fragrance bottles, a nail polish bottle, a lipstick, rocket ship, Dory from Finding Nemo, and even a replica of our Avon Global Innovation Center building, all emerge out of cans. This event also provided a great opportunity to have a representative from Fearless Hudson Valley come to the Avon site and provide inspiring words to our Avon employees about the great work being done by Fearless Hudson Valley. It was a tremendous event, and at the end of the day, we had collected over 2,200 cans of food, all to be donated to Fearless Hudson Valley.
As mentioned earlier, the All Stand For Her team is just one of 4 pillars making up the Avon Women's Empowerment Group within Avon. The All team provides opportunities and tools to help the women, and yes, men, of Avon build their confidence, careers, and sense of community. So I wanted to take this opportunity to tell you the goal of each team, since it reflects other ways that Avon is being a good neighbor. So we have Stand For Her, which represents community engagement and associate empowerment. The engagement team, which promotes a work-life balance for Avon associates. STEM, which demonstrates to children and young adults multiple opportunities within the STEM field. And career development, which has networking, career chats, career development tools, and tips. So Avon truly values its place in the community and the belief that we are the best beauty company for the world. The world is a big place, and we all know that it starts with our employees, our local neighbors, and community. Partnering with Fearless Hudson Valley over the past few years with food drives and back-to-school supply drives has reinforced how our efforts within Avon and the All Stand For Her team, small or large, goes a long way within the community we live by and live in. Avon and the All team look forward to always being a good neighbor to Fearless Hudson Valley. Again, thank you very much for this great honor. Stay safe, everyone, and have happy holidays.
Thank you, Robin and Amy, and the incredible AWD team. I was thinking, do you remember when they donated all those cans and they were rolling down 280
Literally
Broadway?
falling out of the truck, rolling down the street. It was lots
People
of
were
fun.
watching us at 280 Broadway as we were chasing all the cans around. We do have fun here, despite popular belief. So again, just a reminder, if you're just joining us, this is a fundraiser, and we know that it's been a challenging and difficult year. But we also want you to know that every dollar counts, and so that any amount goes to providing services and closing the gap to providing services to victims of domestic violence and intimate partner violence and human trafficking. I see you, Jackie and Terry Murray. Thank you so very, very much. We are so excited to talk a little bit about what Terry did for us a little bit later on in the program. And again, thank you to PFKO and Donner Davies, Ed O'Malley, Meta, Lori Mulvaney. It is so nice to see your name. I'm sending you love and thank you so very, very much.
I see Arianna, one of our honorees, also gave. Thank you.
Want to talk a little bit about what we're doing next?
Absolutely. No, I don't.
You don't?
I want to give folks the information about how to pledge again. Just one more time. Can't say it enough. We see wonderful amounts and names coming in across the screen. Wouldn't it be great to get 500? or
It would.
1,000?
It might.
It's okay to aim for that. So what you'll do is take out your cell phones. You are going to send a text message to 970-840-9000. Again, that number is 970-840-9000. You will enter the word hope, a space, the amount you'd like to pledge, a space, and then your name. If you'd like to remain anonymous, simply leave the name field blank. If you'd like to give 500, put 500 in the amount, or 1,000 in the amount, or more or less. Truthfully, every penny, every dollar helps to support victims and survivors in our community. It's me? It's me. Okay. So we're excited to highlight for you tonight some of our collaborative programs. We know that victims and survivors don't always have a choice about the systems that they become engaged with. Whether a neighbor calls 911 or the police are mandated to make a report to Child Protective Services. Over the last several years, we've significantly grown our collaborative programs, as it feels really important to us that we be wherever survivors are, and that we don't simply rely on survivors picking up the phone and finding us. It's important that we be a part of the process to help minimize re-traumatization, to support victims and survivors as they're navigating the criminal justice system and other systems. We have advocates co-located directly within Child Protective Services, within the District Attorney's Office, within police agencies. We're going to turn it over to hear from some of our incredible staff and advocates about the work that they're doing in our collaborative programs.
The CPS-DV collaboration between Fearless and Child Protective Services developed in response to our awareness that there's a significant overlap in families who experience domestic violence and involvement with CPS. One of our primary goals of our collaboration is to increase safety for survivors and their children while connecting them with the comprehensive supportive services that Fearless offers. For our collaboration, when domestic violence is identified in a CPS case, a DV advocate and a CPS caseworker partner to connect the survivor to services. Oftentimes this occurs through a joint home visit where the advocate and caseworker can meet with the survivor in person. As part of our collaboration, Fearless has 4 co-located DV advocates within the Orange County CPS offices. Having advocates and caseworkers sharing office space benefits survivors because the advocates and caseworkers can connect immediately about identified DV concerns. They can begin planning a home visit, and they can strategize ways to hold perpetrators of domestic violence accountable. Being co-located also means that DV advocates are able to gain a deeper understanding of the child welfare system, while caseworkers can gain a deeper understanding about the dynamics and impact of domestic violence. I'm excited because over the past decade of our collaboration's existence, we've seen an increase in joint home visits, an increase in case conferencing, an increase in the number of discussions for abuser accountability, and an increase of survivors accessing services. The importance of having a strong collaboration was highlighted this year as we navigated COVID-19. Despite so many things changing so suddenly, DV advocates and CPS caseworkers were still able to partner together to keep services going.
Ultimately, what I want survivors of domestic violence to know is that they're not alone, that it's not their fault, and that they don't have to navigate their current circumstances by themselves. Specific to the CPS collaborative program, we partner with caseworkers around cases that have domestic violence and ultimately work to support and create a working relationship with those survivors around their needs and their current circumstances, and want to make it a client-centered experience. Also in CPS, it doesn't have to be a bad circumstance. It doesn't have to be a bad experience. It can ultimately be a good experience, and families can be connected to all sorts of programs. We are just one of those programs that survivors are connected to and want to be of support to survivors. A success story that I have and is most memorable to me is when there was a case that a client was considered difficult, and what I came to communicate with a caseworker is that all victims of domestic violence look differently, that they don't look the same, and that someone that is ultimately looked at as being resistant is just trying to protect themselves, trying to safety plan for themselves and their children, and also was able to build a bridge between that survivor and that caseworker. And ultimately, the caseworker, we successfully partnered around an outcome in CPS that did not affect the survivor, did not affect her children, but allowed them to move on.
At the Safe Harbor program, we provide services for survivors of human trafficking and at-risk youth. And I just want to give you a little bit of information on the Safe Harbor law. So the Safe Harbor law was passed in New York State in 2008. And what the Safe Harbor law did was that it redirected youth to services that they would need instead of being criminalized. In the past, our youth, even though they have not yet reached that age of consent, which in New York State is 17 years old, even though they have not yet reached that age of consent, they were being criminalized and penalized and being charged with prostitution. So what the Safe Harbor law did was that it redirected them to services that will be able to provide them with basic need items, with shelter if they needed shelter, with food if they needed food. And that's how the Safe Harbor program came to be in Orange County and in Sullivan County. So what we do is that we provide preventive and intervention services for youth who are impacted by human trafficking, either labor trafficking or sex trafficking, or youth who are vulnerable to being exploited. If they have a vulnerability that somebody else might be able to exploit, we come in to safety plan with them and to be able to provide them that resource that might be able to support them in the community. I think when it comes to human trafficking, a lot of times we have many misconceptions, right? A lot of times we like to think that human trafficking is something that is happening overseas, something that is happening international, and something that is not happening in the US. However, when it comes to human trafficking is something that is happening everywhere, right? It could happen overseas, it could happen here in Orange County, it could happen within our schools, it could happen within our communities. So that is something that is very important to understand, that it's not only something that is happening overseas. As well, a lot of times when we think about human trafficking, we think that the trafficker is somebody who is a stranger, and that is not always the reality. When it comes to human trafficking, many times the trafficker could be a person that the survivor is very familiar with. A trafficker could be a family member, could be a lover, could be a boyfriend, girlfriend, could be a friend. So that's something that it's really important that we are able to understand, that when it comes to trafficking, it's not always a stranger, it's not a white van that is gonna come and kidnap somebody. It does not always happen like that. Yes, there's instances where it could happen this way, where somebody is being kidnapped and taken to another place, but that's not always the case. And when it comes to movies and social media, a lot of times the human trafficking that it's portrayed, it's that human trafficking where somebody gets kidnapped and taken to a different country. And it's not always like that. It could happen, again, like I mentioned before, in our own homes, in our own communities. Something else that I want to mention as well is that when it comes to minors, when it comes to a youth who has not yet reached that age of consent, a minor is automatically considered a victim of human trafficking. So when it comes to a minor, a third person does not have to be involved. If that minor is engaging in exchanging sexual activities for something of value in return, that will be considered human trafficking. That will be considered commercial sexual exploitation of a minor. And that's something that is really important to understand. As I was mentioning in regards to the white van, when it comes to a survivor of human trafficking, that survivor does not need to be transported from one location to another in order for that survivor to be a victim of human trafficking. Again, transportation is not needed. A survivor does not need to be moved from one state to another or from one country to another in order for it to be considered human trafficking. Something that I would like to share as well is that when it comes to our program, just because we're working with somebody does not mean that they are a survivor of human trafficking. It could just be that there is something going on in their life at that moment that is making them vulnerable to somebody else exploiting them. Something that I like to share, it's about a youth that I was working with. If I remember correctly, when I had that first initial visit, meeting with the youth, something that came to my mind right away was that the youth would benefit from receiving therapy, from seeing a counselor or from seeing a therapist. And I shared that with the youth. I shared with the youth, and I mentioned, would you be interested in enrolling in therapy services with our agency? And at the moment, the youth said that she was not interested in enrolling in therapy services. And that's something that it's very important to understand, that even though we might be aware of the resources that the youth might be needing at the moment, that it's not at our pace. It's always going to be on the survivor's pace and what they need at that moment. It could be that at the moment she just needed to speak with somebody about what was going on and what was happening to her. But at that moment, she didn't feel the need to enroll in therapy yet. Later on, as we continue working, she actually decided on her own that she would like to enroll in therapy services. And then we were able to support her in that way. But that's something that I do want to mention and bring up. It's that we should always go on the pace that the survivor, the client, needs to go in. And they are the ones who are reclaiming their safety and taking their power back. So it's very important to follow that and be there in order to hear and understand what it is that they need at that moment.
Some of the key needs of victims of human trafficking are basic needs. We start with basic needs: food, shelter, clothing. Then we go on to further resources of emotional care, therapeutic care. The biggest thing is that we want to empower our victims and survivors to give them back their power, to take back their power. You know, so through all of the resources that we give to a client, the biggest thing is to empower them to be who they can be. We come in and we work on focusing on you know, the consequences or the best decisions, whatever works for that client individually, and to connect them to the resources that they need to be connected to. So one of my success stories, one of my first referrals. I had a client who was deemed challenging and very shut down from all the other caseworkers. And I met with this client, and she looked me up and down. And at first she wasn't very happy with the idea of meeting with me. And week after week we met, and every Monday now she waits for me at her front door to sit and tell me about her week, to sit and tell me about things that she needs help navigating, to sit and tell me about the things that are just going on in her life. You know, so from a child who was unsuccessful or deemed unsuccessful to a child who wants to be empowered and helped. You know, that's what makes my job worth it.
In 2016, Fearless, City Newburgh Police Department, Orange County Probation, Orange County District Attorney's Office, and recently added Town of Newburgh Police Department, Child Protective Services, signed Memorandum of Understanding and Partnership known as Risk Reduction Response Project, was created to address intimate partners' domestic violence calls in those jurisdictions. Our team's mission is to increase victim safety, hold offenders accountable, and by doing so, to reduce an overall violence and subsequent domestic violence homicide in town and the city of Newburgh. It is my honor to be RRP project coordinator from its initial stages, and as I support my team's effort to fulfill our mission, we created a unified process to coordinate and provide services to victims and survivors of intimate partners violence in Newburgh. Last 4 years taught me that what may seem impossible is without question possible when you are working with like-minded, dedicated individuals who are unified by one goal: to keep domestic violence victims safe and abusers responsible for crimes they committed. As reported in Project Status Report 2017-2020, there were 1,029 cases identified as high-risk cases and screened into RRP in City of Newburgh Police Department. That is on average 28.5 cases per month. And since City of Newburgh Police Department has 100% compliance completing lethality screening, We know that there were over 1,000 individuals in the last 3 years who reached out to law enforcement to assist them and were potential for future violence, and even homicide is increased significantly. Why are those numbers important? Because from research, we know that only 4% of domestic violence murder victims had been connected with domestic violence program. And we also know that in 50% of domestic violence-related homicides, there was prior police interaction. Connecting victims with services at the time of incident is imperative, and the time is of essence. Our officers are trained and make all effort to assure that victim has an opportunity to speak with an advocate who provides safety planning, shelter information or placement, and other direct services as needed. Case that shows importance of the work we do on a daily basis is a case that started as a follow-up call to the victim after she reported that her partner assaulted her. Incident happened just past midnight, and victim did not fully cooperate with officer who responded to her home. She did not wish to speak with an advocate. However, because of the overall scene and statement she made upon officer's arrival, arrest was made. When I got to the police department that morning, Sergeant approached me and shared his concerns about this individual, and based on his expertise and experience, case was screened to RP based on officer's belief. When I called this individual, she was whispering. Following questions allow me to understand that she was strangled during the incident. Immediately, with her consent, Lieutenant in charge was notified, and we conducted a follow-up home visit, took her to the hospital, and charges were upgraded to strangulation. This case illustrates why time is of essence, and that connecting with victims is crucial. From her physical well-being to the way this case was prosecuted was impacted by the follow-up investigation and our connection with survivor. Now more than ever, collaboration like ours are vital to communities we serve. We cannot do this work alone. It takes all of us. Lives depend on us. Collaboration with law enforcement is crucial. Our constant presence in City of Newburgh Police Department is what changed and changes on a daily basis how domestic violence calls are responded to. Our partnership allows on debriefing and constant conversations about victims' needs and rights while assuring the offenders are held accountable for the crimes as permitted by law. RP collaboration successfully united different professional and ideological perspectives represented by all project partners. We continue to build upon those shared principles and our commitment to providing safety to survivors of intimate partners' domestic violence. Each partner agreed and remained consistently supportive to strategies for identifying indicators of risk and taking action to prevent violence without compromising the unique role in the criminal justice process.
Thank you, Joanna. And it's important to recognize the incredible work that Joanna and the City of Newburgh has done. Not only allowed us to expand the project into the town of Newburgh, it also allowed us to expand the project to the City of Port Jervis, the City of Middletown, as well as various other police agencies in Orange County. While they may not have the full RRP project, they do have various aspects of it. And if it was not from the beginning, all those years ago, and all of the great work and partnership and collaboration that was formed, we never would have been able to expand the way we have, and we look forward to expanding later on. You know we're live, right?
Yeah, I'm pledging, and you can too. Take out your phones, dial 970-840-9000. Do what I did, enter the word HOPE, a space, the amount you'd like to pledge, another space, and then your name. If you'd like to remain anonymous, simply leave the name field blank. I put my pledge through, and we'll look up for yours right now.
I just want to give a shout out to Sarah and Dan. Susan Laspina. Oh, hi, Allie. It's so nice to see you. Oh, thank you, Nugent and Hausler, for a wonderful donation. We really appreciate it. Listen, it's really important. We say a lot of times, like, how far does that dollar go? But even $25 allows us to get a cost of new sheets and a pillow for a shelter resident, as well as $50 for a run court. Thanks, Donovel. Oh, look where we are. We're getting so close
We're
to our
so
goal.
close. We set our goal really modestly this year, right? So 35, not asking for too much, but it is significantly lower than what we typically raise and rely on in fundraising dollars. It's important to note all of our fundraising events for this year were canceled due to COVID, and I don't know what that leaves us in the hole, but we're looking to reach the goal of 35,000. We're less than $10,000 away from that goal, and we're okay with surpassing it too. So please take out your phones, send a text message to 970-840-9000. Again, that's 970-840-9000. Enter the word HOPE, HOPE, a space, the amount you'd like to give, a space, and then the name. The spaces are really important. So please enter the word HOPE, the amount you'd like to give, your name with spaces in between. Kiki, we love you.
You got distracted, right?
Kiki,
She took our breath away for a moment.
Kiki is a longtime volunteer. We so love you, appreciate your work. Sharon Tillman, I see you.
I said, you saw Kiki. We got a little distracted. We were just so taken back. Ultimately, it's thank you, Kelly. Thank you very much. In honor of Nana, Tiffany, and Fearless Survivors, thank you. I see you, Donna. I can't imagine. Hopefully you're home in your sweatpants, I don't know, eating popcorn, having a mimosa, whatever you're doing. Just think you didn't have to leave work and come home. Oh, look who wrote to you.
Where are we? Hold on.
It says, hi, Mom.
No, I wrote that. That was my gift. I gave and I put my hi, Mom, in my name there. That was me.
Thank you again. So just again, one more time, you can text HOPE, space, the amount, space, and your name. We are so thankful for all of you who are tuning in today on the various platforms. Please know that this will be open for the next 24 hours, so you can donate, you can share with your friends on all of your social media platforms, but we can keep pushing that fundometer right over the edge for the next 24 hours. So thank you very much for all of you that have donated so far.
I see we got our first anonymous donation this evening. Want to recognize you too, whoever you are. We're so appreciative. Aramis, good job.
What do you say? Keep going?
Yeah, let's go. Our next honoree.
So our next award is a special award. It's one of our longest awards. It's been around for probably the longest of all of our awards. It represents the past and the future, and that there isn't anything I wouldn't give for our past to have not crossed in this way. It's beyond deserving, absolutely fitting, and a complete honor to share our honorees this evening for the Hope Award. The unimaginable grief of a mother to have their daughter stolen. A best friend to lose their person. When Alexis Harris was murdered, immediately Ann Harris and Christine Pagliaro began ensuring that Alexis's voice would be heard, her story would be told, and lives would be forever impacted. First, we spent time together, then jumped right in. From hosting events, participating in flash mobs, bringing domestic violence awareness and how to get help and support into every conversation. They even created a massive sign that traveled throughout the community to events and schools with our hotline. Each time Ann and Christine speak, connect, or merely hold space, they continue to Alexis's memory and the hope that no mother or best friend has to endure what they've endured. There is no doubt that lives have been forever altered and lives have been saved. I know that if we were in the same room tonight, that Ann Harris would be giving me a huge hug and a huge kiss, and I'm giving you air hugs from the home that you're in, and love you very much, and wish desperately that we were connected in a different way. But it is absolutely our honor to congratulate our 2020 Hope Award honorees, Ann Harris and Christine Pagliaro.
It is truly an honor to be recognized and receive the Hope Award. I met Fearless in July 2012 during the darkest time in my life. My daughter Alexis was only 20 years old when she was murdered by her boyfriend. Fearless seemed to be there from day one. Sometimes it's a blur, but I remember there were flyers at the funeral home about domestic violence, and staff from Safe Homes were there to pay their respects and support me. It's been 8 years, and they are still on this journey with me. I did not want my daughter's death to be in vain, so I decided to share her story and be her voice. Through Fearless, I was able to find my own voice and carry on and bring awareness to domestic violence in our community. Sharing Alexis's story has had a tremendous impact on many people. Her dear friend Christine has never wavered in her support and advocacy, and she will continue to do so. If sharing Alexis's story can change the outcome of someone's life, we will have made a difference. As a mother of a child who was murdered by her boyfriend, a victim of domestic violence, and I was also abused in my first marriage for 6 months, I know personally what abuse is. And I implore you, if you are in an abusive relationship, reach out to Fearless. They are there 24/7 to help you.
I want to thank Fearless for allowing myself and Anne to be represented in this award. Alexis was my most funny, vibrant, hardworking, determined friend that I had. Just as Alexis's personality was a bold statement in this world, so has been her passing. Since her death, I think every single day this topic has been brought up, whether it is on purpose or on accident. Her story has not been in vain, and with the help of Fearless, I've had the confidence to go out and not be afraid to bring up this topic, a topic that used to be very silent amongst my friends, amongst my family, people in my classroom, people at my workplace. If every single one of us could be bringing up this topic and have the confidence to say that we do have value in this world, every person has value, every interaction we have is of value, then that in itself is a statement that lives can be saved and people can move forward, even in the most tragic times of their life. So anyone out there who is in a situation or knows of a situation, please understand that every day is a gift and that there is help out there, and this organization is one of them that could be called at any moment. So thank you, and to all of those who are survivors, we're honoring you as well. Thank you.
We love you very much, Anne and Christine, and congratulations on your award this year. You have to transition. All right, so we're going to look at what's going on with our Fundometer. Again, it has been an incredible night. Thank you, Donovan, very much, not only for the donation, but for all the incredible work. Thank you, Dana. We see you. Thank you again, the Murray family and English Rose Day School. Again, just a reminder, I know for those of us who are not that tech savvy, that would be me that I'm talking about, you're going to text HOPE and a space and the amount and a space and then your name. Again, we're so grateful for anything that you're able to give. It goes such a long way. Even $100 provides food for a survivor in our shelter and with their 2 children for a week. So again, thank you so very, very, very much.
You'll send a text to 970-840-9000. Enter the word HOPE, a space, the amount, a space, then your name, or blank if you'd like to be anonymous.
It's moving. It's moving.
It's moving. We're like $7,000 away from the goal. We can do this.
We were nervous. We were very nervous. We had this. I had a dream that no one came to our party. I'm not going to lie. I was very nervous. I was like,
we're
what if
having
no one comes if we're just here?
No,
we are having a great time.
We're having a great time, and we're $7,000 away from our goal.
Thank
you. So it's good. Assessment family, thank you so very much. Thank you.
Oh.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Okay. So ultimately, what we want folks to know is there is help. We are always here. Next up, we're going to share a little bit more about the support available 24 hours a day through our hotline and residential programs.
Hi, my name is Aaron, and I'm the hotline advocate here at Fearless of the Hudson Valley. The hotline is a very critical tool for us here at Fearless, as it's often the first place that a survivor will connect with our agency. We can provide all kinds of services over the hotline, from things as simple as emotional support to things as complex as completion of entire court petitions. Survivors should know that our hotline is confidential and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Survivors should also know that no matter when they contact the hotline, the person who answers will be a trained advocate who's ready to provide support and listen to them without judgment. We also frequently have calls from service providers, community members, and family members who are looking for ways to best support survivors. I believe that my most important responsibility over the hotline and as an advocate in general is to empower survivors. A survivor will never call our hotline and be told what to do or what's best for them. At Fearless, we understand that everyone's safety looks different, and we simply provide survivors with the information and referrals that they might need to access that safety. And that way, we help survivors find the power that they believed that they didn't have in the context of their abusive relationship. At Fearless, it's important that everyone who calls the hotline walks away with something, or walks away feeling better than they did when they called that number, even if our agency isn't the right one for them. We don't want anyone leaving empty-handed. I think it's amazing the things that we can provide over the phone, the services, the things that we can do, but perhaps what's more important is the way that we can make people feel with just a simple phone call, and that's not something that I ever take for granted when I pick up that hotline.
So the goals for our emergency crisis shelter is to provide a safe environment free of violence for individuals that are fleeing their homes due to domestic violence, intimate partner violence, teen dating violence, as well as human trafficking. We provide individuals with everything that they need when they come into shelter. Some individuals leave their homes with only the clothes on their backs. So when they come into shelter, the staff will sit down with them. Our case managers will do individual service plans to see what individuals want to work on while they're here and how we can support that process. And if there's any immediate needs, such as clothing items, hygiene items, as well as assisting with getting medication if that's needed, and then also any specific dietary needs that come up for individuals while they're here. With families, we provide all basic needs for their children, including wipes and diapers. And so meeting anyone's basic needs is something that we make sure that we do here at our shelter, as well as creating a home-like environment within the shelter. We make sure that individuals feel at home, that this is their home for the time that they're with us, and that if there's anything that they do need, that they can reach out to staff and we'll help support that need as they arise.
With the children, I primarily focus on getting them enrolled with school, getting them any assistance, whether it's tutoring or just creating fun activities that the advocate, as myself, and the children can do.
Housing is really one of the biggest goals that we want to work on while somebody's with us, because we are only a brief respite. We're here to help individuals for about 90 days. Maximum stay in a domestic violence shelter is 180 days. And during that time, we really want to focus on the individual that's in front of us. Not everyone is the same, so we really want to speak to that individual's specific needs.
We focus on creating goals while they're here at the shelter. Within the time period that they're here, we want to get them financially stable, want to find a housing for them and their children. We want to get them ready and set to move forward with their lives.
We, of course, have staff 24/7, and we're available to support individuals, whether it's 2 o'clock in the morning or whether it's 5 o'clock in the evening. They're here. We're here to support them. We do also work on support groups with individuals, so that way they can gain additional tools or resources, so that way when they leave, they will have more of knowledge about community resources, as well as additional self-care tips or just basic information around resume building and job searches and job interviewing skills. So we really try to focus on all different areas of our clients, so that way we can support them while they're here.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. As we were watching the video, we saw so many people keeping coming in. Thank you so much for the donations. Thank you to Deneen, our very own, and Devin and Dr. Amy Pedro, for setting up a quarterly payment. That's always an option. You can go through our website and set up a ongoing concurring payment. We're very, very grateful. Thank you to Home Inspections for a Cause, and to my Aunt Chris. I love you very, very much. Thank you for being on this evening. Did you know that we're in November? Like, we're in the holidays.
It's December.
Oh, we're
It's
in December.
December. It's officially December.
It's December.
It's really hard to believe that it's already December. The year has flown by. And we're really sad that we're not able to be together, not able to hold our annual holiday party for clients and individuals that we're supporting because of COVID. Personally, I think it's one of our favorite times, families that we serve and support here at Fearless. More often than not, people are often seeking services and support from us during the most challenging and darkest moments of their lives, which is not an easy task, to say the least. And the nature of our work is really centered in those moments and centered around accessing safety and supporting individuals in staying balanced, despite efforts of an abusive partner to destabilize everything in their lives. During the holiday season, through our Adopt a Family project and our annual holiday party, it's really amazing to be with the adults and children that we work with, to celebrate together, to see the joy and the laughter and the magic that happens. While we can't host our holiday party this year, we can absolutely honor two really incredible individuals who help make it happen year after year. The Jane Chertock Legacy Award is typically given to individuals who are known to be silent heroes, people who do extraordinary work with very few people knowing what they do, and many more positively impacted. This year's Jane Chertock Legacy Award honorees are Arianna Pineiro and Frances Estenes. There will never be enough words to describe how much magic they add to our holiday party. When I first asked Arianna to join us and contribute her face painting talents, she immediately said yes with no hesitation, often racing to our holiday party from work. She has shown up year after year dressed in holiday gear with all of her supplies and ready to go. No matter what time it is, the party is not over until every child leaves with their face painted at least once. So many of the families remember her year after year, and our staff are even excited to figure out who's going to work with her.
Something or someone very special brought Frances. Little did we know all those years ago, you had a very special phone that was a direct line to the North Pole. Since that very first year of making that special connection, you have not stopped organizing and ensuring we were on Santa's first stop for the season, having facilitated creating magic, hope, and moments of peace in those young and old at Fearless. It's our favorite, right?
This is, absolutely.
Please help us this evening to congratulate our 2020
Jane Chertock Legacy Award honorees, Arianna and Frances.
I'm so honored to be receiving the Jane Chertock Legacy Award. I was asked to participate in Fearless's Christmas party several years ago, and so without hesitation, I offered my services as a face painter. So I've been face painting at the Christmas parties for several years now, and I just get so much joy out of seeing the children's faces as they get their faces painted, as their families see them, as they run off to them saying, you know, Mom, look at my face. It makes me so happy. I enjoy talking to the children about the holidays, about school, and what they want to be when they grow up. Volunteering is very important to me in my life. I have other areas where I volunteer. I'm a religious ed teacher. I volunteer in the church in my community. So being a part of this organization, doing face painting at their Christmas parties just is such a wonderful experience. I love being around the children, again, like talking with them, seeing their smiling faces, and being honored alongside of Santa is such an honor for me. So again, I want to thank Fearless for recognizing me with this wonderful Jane Chertock Legacy Award.
Good evening. I'm honored to be here this evening for the Fearless 2020 unGala Gala event. I am here as a representative of Santa Claus himself. I have a direct line to the North Pole. Many years ago, it was discovered by Fearless that I had a phone that dials up Santa directly. And I was approached to ask Santa Claus to come and do their holiday event for Fearless. I was happy to do so, and when I dialed Santa, I told him of the event. And without reservation and without hesitation, he said absolutely, he will be there. And for several years now, Santa has made an appearance at the Fearless event, and I have been a part of that magic. And that brings me to my point of this evening's message. Christmas magic, Christmas joy, Christmas happiness. The magic of Christmas does exist. I have a couple of stories I would like to tell you real quickly. The first being of a child about 6 years old. He is restless and it's Christmas Eve. He wants to see Santa, but he knows he needs to be asleep. However, he can't sleep. And on the eve of Christmas, he is awake. He hears something in the parlor. He goes to his bedroom door and he sees Santa himself. That's right. He was frozen in time. His eyes became as big as fresh-baked pies in a bakery window. And he was stuck in amazement as he watched Santa go to work. He placed these gifts under the tree according to his siblings and himself. And he was amazed to see what he saw. He couldn't move, though. The magic was in place. Although he could see what Santa was doing, there was a feeling that Santa knew he was awake. And at that time, Santa, when he was ready to leave, turned and saw that young boy and gave him a wink, as if to say, I allowed you to see me, you saw the magic, and now I would like you to continue that magic moving forward. That 6-year-old boy was myself, believe it or not, and from that day on, I have always kept that in my heart. And to this day, I am a part of continuing that Christmas magic. What I do is Santa reaches out to me and asks me what events are on board for this season. I relay those events to Santa, and he is, without reservation, happy to do them. And one of the best events for Santa is, without a doubt, the Fearless holiday event. It brings him so much joy to come and visit the children and the adults. And on that day, when I'm watching from a distance, I see Santa's happiness just spread to everyone involved. It is indeed a great event every year to be a part of. And I am so happy and thrilled to have been a part of that behind the scenes for Santa, for Fearless over the years. Another story I'd like to tell you is one of a sort of interesting one. This story goes back a while as well. And you may recall a movie known as Miracle on 34th Street. And Santa was in his chair in Macy's. And a young girl had been approached Santa and did not speak English. And she thought she couldn't relay what her wishes were for Santa. Well, I observed one year at the Fearless event Santa Claus sitting in his chair, and a young boy who only spoke Spanish and had that same apprehension about speaking to Santa and wasn't sure if Santa would know what it was that he would ask for Christmas. Again, it gave a great joy to watch Santa work because at that very moment, Santa spoke Spanish to the young boy, and his face lit up with joy and amazement that Santa knew his language. This was indeed a magical event, and that's what it's all about, creating that Christmas magic, that Christmas joy, that Christmas love. And being a part of that over the years here at Fearless in the background and arranging things for Santa to take part in this holiday party has been truly, truly a magnificent event for me to take part in. And I want to tell everyone that there are a few people that I would like to recognize as a part of this honor. I would like to recognize everyone at Fearless and thank them for the nomination of the Jane Chertock Award. I am indeed honored and privileged to bring this award and share it with Santa Claus and everyone else back at the North Pole. I would like to acknowledge my mother, someone who had a great deal to do with who I am today. She sculpted me, she molded me, and all of my beliefs and attributes of who I am as a person are because my mother showed me that love and attention. Now, it wasn't easy for her as she was a single mom with 3 boys to raise. However, she showed me the love and gave me the attention and made sure we were taken care of. And I want to acknowledge her. Back in 2012, we lost our mom due to an illness. However, I do know today that she is with us, and she has great pride in her son as I continue to spread the Christmas magic and the Christmas joy to everyone. So again, in closing, I'd like to say thank you to Fearless and thank you to everyone who assists on that day of days when Santa arrives here for the holiday event. The elves that assist, Santa relays a message. Thank you so much for your assistance. He enjoys having you participate as well. And thank you to everyone, and thank you for this award.
See what I mean? Again, congratulations this year to our Jane Chertock Legacy Award honorees, Arianna and Francis. I would be absolutely remiss if I did not send a little love and a small shout out to Kelly, who has, at the background, always been along Francis's side.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot to Yvonne, $20 donation. We really appreciate it. And I heard you wore your Fearless shirt to school today. Mama Francis, thank you very much for your donation. Francis is Lisa Marie's mom. We got a lot of moms showing
Lots
up
of
here
moms.
tonight. Good job, moms.
That doesn't tell you anything.
So to pledge tonight, please take out your phones. You're going to send a text message to 970-840-9000. Enter the word HOPE, a space, the amount, a space, and then your name. If you'd like to remain anonymous, simply leave the name field blank. No pressure to identify yourself. So again, send a text to 970-840-9000. Enter the word HOPE, a space, the amount, a space, and then your name.
Like typical fashion, we're always running a few minutes behind. But if you've been with us long enough, you know that that happens. And so we're hoping you'll stay with us because we have a couple other great things coming. And we've been doing a lot of wonderful things. Hi, Teresa.
Oh, Teresa. Eileen Buckley, one of our collaborative program partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. The squad. Thank you.
Dr. Michelle.
Oh, your husband donated.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Megan and James Bambino. Thank you so much for Devin Harris. Really appreciate it. And Leslie Brown and Mike Cassie. Oh, thank you to my little one, Ian. Mommy loves you and I miss you. And thank you so much for donating.
Hi, Jasmine. My Jasmine says, hi, Mom. Thanks for the shout out.
Hi, Goggins family. We miss you. Dave Goggins, one of our founding board members. Thank you so very much.
Some sibling rivalry. My other daughter just donated. Hi, Alexa. Make sure you follow through to the payment page. Thank you to the Molinella family. Thank you.
We're so close.
We are so close. So close. We can do this.
It's been a lot of fun sharing this evening the incredible work of our team. For so many of us, this is more than a job, and we spend most of our waking hours together. We're connected by the mission, each other, and those we're supporting. And so tonight, it felt really important to speak directly to one of our very own fearless advocates, Nava. In February of this year, Nava shared with her team that she had learned her cancer had returned and it was terminal. Despite being on her own journey in true Nava fashion, all she wanted was the ability to return to work she loves doing. Nava's always been a fighter with a fearless spirit, always a quick response or something to add. We begin calling them Nava-isms. We just wanted to say tonight, thank you, Nava, for always making us smile. We want you to know that you've impacted so many lives, shared journey with survivors, supported your colleagues, and always ensured everyone was seen. We love you. We miss you. And the mini Purple Hearts will forever be yours. And so I hope tonight, as you're sitting there after speaking with us today, that you know that you're always our superhero. And we just wanted you to know that we love you very much and that you changed so many lives and made so many of us smile. And so we love you very much. See, Nava, I told you I wasn't going to cry.
As we told Nava earlier today, she set the bar really high for fearless advocates. And despite her own journey, has only been focused on how everyone else is doing and wondering about how she can give back and how she can contribute. You're really incredible, Nava.
All right, so we're getting close, and I know many of you have been waiting. Lots of things have changed over the years. Our hair, babies,
yeah.
time,
Our offices.
But since 2012, we've been on an incredible journey. The denials for shelters have increased for adults since 2012. Just to give you an idea, in 2019, due to being full capacity at our current shelter, we had to deny 283 adults and 364 children. And in 2020 to date, we've had to deny 364 adults and 213 children. If not for the Housing Council action and embarking on a grant in 2014 that we successfully submitted in 2015 and weighed
22 pounds. 22 pounds of paper is what we mailed to Albany for consideration on that grant application. 22 pounds, people. 22 pounds.
It was expensive postage.
And of work.
And then finally in 2017, sitting in Mori Architect's office, learned that Fearless, formerly Safe Homes of Orange County, was awarded a grant to embark on this journey to build a new 20-bed facility. We are so excited tonight. The moment we've all been waiting for. Please join us now for a sneak peek of our new facility.
The plans were on paper, and all of the right people were finally in place, and we broke ground in spring of 2019. We even had official hard hats. Long before one nail went into one piece of wood, our concept was just a dream. It wasn't until we met the incredibly talented Jay and Brandon from Mori Architects that our dream finally became a reality. When we sat down with them all the years ago and talked about victims and children fleeing abuse and seeking safety, leaving unsafe environments emotionally and physically at the hands of their abusive partner, we needed to build something with a strong foundation, that even the space needed to feel healing, that support and services needed to create space for victims to heal from the trauma inflicted upon them, and that all of the space needed to be accessible for all victims of domestic violence and human trafficking. For when they arrived and walked up to that door, if only for one night, they would feel safe. We knew we were building a 20-bed room, but we added 11 bedrooms that we designed like suites to meet the family configurations and needs of those seeking relief. We needed a large kitchen for communal living and eating and sharing food together. We needed a dining room for adults and families. From the cabinets to the tile to the paint on the walls, if not for the donated time, talent, and creativity of Leslie and Karen from LQ Designs, that picked everything that they picked for our home with healing, hope, and empowerment in mind, we could have never brought this home to life. We knew that this was a room and a bed and a safe place to sleep, but we also knew that we wanted more, that victims and children deserved more, that they needed a place and space to begin rebuilding their lives from the trauma that was inflicted upon them, that they needed to heal and have space so that they could make the most informed decisions of their lives. They needed a library and an office, a kids' playroom and a teens' playroom. They needed a family living room and an adult living room, an outdoor backyard to run and play, a meditation space, a place for support group. They needed bedrooms big enough to live and to begin rebuilding their lives. We were very grateful to our very own Terry Murray, who donated his time and talent and is leaving us with an incredible mural that victims for years to come, as they walk through the halls of this home and begin rebuilding lives that were once shattered at the hands of their abusive partners, that they will begin to heal and become empowered to make the most informed decisions on their lives. We are truly so excited and thankful to the community for your help and support as we begin this new journey in early of 2021.
It's so
I feel like we have to give an air fist bump.
So incredible. Never thought we'd be here. So incredible.
We almost weren't. Oh my goodness gracious. Listen, it was an incredible grant, and it filled the bricks and mortar of the building. And ultimately, it is the bricks and mortar that is there. It still needs to be a home. It still needs all the basic needs as if we were starting building a home from scratch. And so we would be really grateful tonight again if you would consider donating, making a pledge one more time to take out your phones, hope, space, and amount, space, and your name. Again, $200 covers 1 day of emergency shelter and support for services. We would be extremely grateful. We know that it's been a long night, and once again, hope, space, the amount, space, and your name. I know we're looking for, we need one more Kiki. We got one more Kiki, one more $1,000 Kiki.
Yep, $6,000 away from our goal. We are hoping to reach it before the cameras turn off tonight. That's what we're asking. But just in case that doesn't happen, the link will stay live for 24 hours, so you can still contribute through this link. It'll tally up in our Fundometer. We'll keep track of it. We'll thank you, if not here, on social media, via email, phone call, text, however we can reach you to thank you. We really appreciate it. $6,000.
And it stays open for 24 hours, which means that you can share it with your friends on all of your social media platforms. And please, again, $1 goes a long way. You have 24 hours to get us to our goal. Thank you, Barbara Driscoll. We see you so much. Thank you, Emily and James. Oh, hi, Stacy. It's so good to see you. Thank you, Integra Accounting and Bookkeeping Services. Again, we also want to thank our partners and our sponsors this evening. I want to thank our friend sponsors, once again, ADP and M&T Bank.
And our partner level sponsors, Orange and Rockland, Professional Computer Associates, and Avon, also one of our honorees. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Janet. So I was thinking, I was like, what is going to be good not being together and not being in the living room with everybody and not being on the dance floor? Because I really wanted to be on, you guys talked the dance floor into me all these years, and now we don't get to be on the dance floor. So I said to Sarita, what is the one good thing about being here? So we brought slippers. The whole time we've been wearing slippers.
This is me.
Okay.
I'm a Grinch. So.
I might have been wearing, I'd be wearing pants too. We said party up top, yeah. Comfy on the bottom.
Nobody knows, but now you know. And apparently my mother told me today that on The View, they stole our idea and they did a lower half reveal. It was our idea first, but we are auditioning.
Right. And so if you need a break, Jen Hoda, we'd be happy to take place, fill in, because we feel like we're ready to go at this point. It's been an hour and a half and
got some practice.
We're professional. We're practiced. Thank you to my daughter for letting me steal your hedgehogs. They've been wonderful. And I don't know, you might see me next year in them at the gala on the dance floor. Because if anything, it's taught me, who says we can't wear slippers to the gala?
That's true. After 2020, it's all fair game.
Oh, so once again, please, please, please share. Please dial, text 90840-9000. Text HOPE, space, the amount, and the name. We are so grateful for all of your help tonight. Thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you, Susan and the Berkner family. Oh, thank you, Nancy. I thank you. We're getting closer. Hi, Marianne.
We are getting closer. I see Dave Goggins. Thank you so much, Dave, and your family.
I also want to thank our incredible volunteers and our interns for helping so much to make this event come together. And we certainly want to say congratulations to the incredible staff help in many, many ways to make this happen. It is not easy work, and it is really hard at times to show how hard each of the advocates work every single day. And it was an incredible opportunity. And I know not everybody loves the camera, and it just blew us away. So thank you so much. Oh, hi, Zachary. Oh, thunderclap.
Oh, Mackenzie.
Thunderclap.
Thank you. Another anonymous donation, too.
Thank you very much. Make sure you stay till the end of credits. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much for staying with us tonight. Again, please stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you very, very soon. Thank you again. Thank you to our honorees, and have a wonderful night.
Good night.
Good night. You thought we left? Guess what?
We're turning 35 next year.
You and me?
Yeah, we're turning 35. That's what I'm going with. Sounds great. 2021, Fearless, it's turning 35. So we'll be together for a gala.
We're going to blow
Friday
the roof
night,
off the place.
Dancing, yummy food. It's going to be incredible. 35. Only happens once.
We're going big, and we're not going home.
We'll see you there.
See you there. Have a great night. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.